So we are live. We will just wait for one more minute and we will
Yeah.
begin. All right, Jitin. And by the way, I'm very excited for today.
Yeah, I am also.
Okay, so it's the time now. And hello, Trailblazer. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blazer Brews as well in today's episodes. So, welcome, Jitendra. Thank you so much. So, this is the place where we blend Salesforce coffee and community into meaningful conversation. And I'm your host, Ankita. Just like a good cup of coffee fuel our morning, the great idea fuel innovation in tech. This is what I believe as well. So, in the last episode, Jitendra and our audience, what we have heard was an amazing, powerful journey of one of my dearest friend, Kuldeep. So, what we saw his struggle, how he's actually overcome those struggle, and that will be really inspiring as well to all of us. And also, I believe in giving back to the community. So, whenever we get an opportunity, we actually have to try to give back to the community. And this is what we have learned from our last episode. But today's episode is especially exciting because we are brewing something powerful. Our first tech focus session. So, and the tech focus session, we are explainable AI in healthcare and how it can improve the transparency and trust. Joining me today is someone who has been deeply involved in the community, tech space, and integration leadership, Jitendra. Welcome, Jitendra, to Blazer Brews.
Hi everyone.
Jitendra, would you like to say something about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Jitendra Bafna, and like most of the people knows me by name Jackie also. So yeah, I'm in the IT industries from last 20 years. So and I just initially I just completed my Bachelor of Engineering in 2009. After that, I have done MBA, I have done Master of Data Science, like I have done some post graduation in artificial intelligence and the machine learning. Right, later then recently, like as I mentioned, today's topic is explainable AI in healthcare, basically, right? So I have written a research paper on that particular topic. I completed, I have submitted my research paper. So mostly once it get approved, I will get a doctorate degree on that research paper. And currently I am working as a director at a Free Dimensions, so where I am leading a artificial intelligence practice, right? So yeah, that is just something about myself, right?
Wow, you are doing a lot. PhD, really. But
Yeah,
definitely we will get opportunity to learn a lot from you. I'll definitely wanted to go and discuss about research papers some another episode as well. But
yeah,
Jitendra, moving on, right? Every professional story has its own original story, right?
yeah.
But what all the amazing thing you are doing? What was the first spark in your tech industry?
Okay, so okay, simple. So if you see, like I completed my Bachelor of Engineering in 2008, right? And later, like, then I got placed from the college to one of the organization, basically. So I worked for that organization for like few months. Then later I lost my job, 2008, like where people starting losing the jobs and everything, right? So I also lost my job, not because of my performance or anything, like it just mass layoff. I also get laid off there. But then after that, I found some small job where I started working on some mainframes technology, if you see like base 24, tel, temdem, tackle, cobol, those kind of technology, where I have done pretty well. Then after that, I started loving the technology. Those whatever mainframe technology I work, right, those are very complex technology. And after that, like I started loving the technology, then I started exploring many other technology, right? Then I move into the Microsoft technology like C Sharp, .NET, WCF, ESP.NET, EDO.NET, MS SQL. I completed few projects on those technology, right? Then I got a chance, as I mentioned you, right? I keep on changing the technology. I keep on working on new technology. I never say no to any technology. Let it be simple, let it be complex, let it be very complex. And I've never heard about those technology also. If some project is coming on that technology, I will definitely take it. I will take that challenge and I will do it. Then I got a chance to work on the integration project, right? Which I started my integration journey with the Bistock. So Bistock is a Microsoft platform, like, so where I have done pretty well within that particular technology also. Like, I have a lot of achievement in that particular technology also. Then I got a chance to explore various other technology like Mulesoft, right? So like we have a Boomi, we have a, like a Spring Boot, Apache Camel, many technology, and now I'm just exploring the artificial intelligence, right? But I will highlight one of the technology which has changed my career. That is nothing, it's a Mulesoft, right? So after I getting into the Mulesoft, it completely changed my career, right? I have seen my growth almost 10x basically, right? 10x faster as compared to other technology. Like Mulesoft has completely changed. Like, I get involved in the Mulesoft community, right? Then I started, like, like I started publishing the videos, blogs. I start helping the people, right? Then, like, I start delivering various other many projects basically, right? So if you see, like, my career, right, I keep on changing technology, like, every 2 3 years or 4 years. I always keep on working on new technology. I always explore the new technology, right? So that is what, like, like, that is what, like, I will you mentioned, like, where what is the point where you start, you spark with the technology,
Spark.
right?
Yes.
Correct. So that is one, like, as I mentioned, I started working with mainframe technology, right? So where I work with some technology called base 24 tel tackle. Those are the technology which is used in the ATM and the pos machines and all these things, right? And after, like, those are very complex technology. It's not that simple, or it's not very easy. Like, it have a lengthy codes, and like, it have like very complex code. We don't have features like drag and drop, or we have to write everything into the notepad and those kind of thing, right? So from where, like, I working with some of the major banks also. I completed my project with some of the major banks, right? As a fresher, or as a new guy, or as a beginner, I have developed some of the great solution within that ATM technology also. So from where I started loving with the technology, like especially in the banking domain initially, right? Like, later, like, I got, like, like, what happened, I will tell you simple. Like, I started working on different technology. I started exploring different technology. So that is the first point, right? That is where, like, I need to work on different technology. And we should always accept the challenge, and that is my end point, right? Yeah.
Of course, and I think that is the where it's reflecting your PhD as well. You thought that why not
Yeah.
just doing research on that? And since you
Correct.
have a lot of exposure and learning with the different technology, and then today's world is moving towards the AI.
Correct.
And I think this is the right time that you're doing research, even the PhD. Oh my God. So that's I was about to come on to that point where you said that you now you are a leader as well. So leadership, we saw it's a big responsibility.
Right.
What was your movement that shaped your leadership style?
Okay. Oh, okay. So one of the point I mentioned in the previous question, right, where, like, I get involved within the MuleSoft community, right? So that is one of the question. So as I mentioned, MuleSoft has changed my career path. Like, it completely, like, it grew my career with a 10x speed, right? That is what I meant. So MuleSoft community also gave me the opportunity to develop my leadership skills basically, right? So where, if you see, like, I am been a meetup leader for many years basically, right? So, like, I am doing lot of meetups, like I am doing lot of session as a speaker also, right? And also I'm coaching various MuleSoft mentors also, like, that allow me to, develop my leadership skills, like, so leadership skill is all about, like, if you are working with different kind of people, different people from different countries, geography, culture, right? That develops your leadership skills basically, right? So that is where I have developed my leadership skill. That is one of the thing basically, right? There are more things, like, if you see, like, I started working with some of the project where we have a tighter deadline, or we have a incomplete information basically, right? So, like, you, or maybe, like, you don't have a, like, the complete view of what needs to be done in the project basically, right? This
Yes.
particular thing reinforce. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Ankita, you're saying
Please go
something.
ahead. No, I just want to say that yes, as a developer, we all have a maybe experienced this thing that we, whenever we got a less a clear requirement, I would say that
Correct.
tight deadline, and that's where it changed our leadership and the problem solving skills. So yeah, I
Correct.
definitely can correlate with you when you say that, about the requirement and the deadline.
Yeah, so basically what happened, like with this, with this, like it helped me to embrace agility and the decision making, right, with the incomplete information, right. And apart from that, with this, I my leadership has been reinforced, it got it like it empowers me to solve the complex problem very easily. Basically, even I have a incomplete information, or like I don't have all the requirement, all the details, I got a skills, like I developed my leader skills, like how to get the information, even if we have some details, right. So like how have to we have to proceed with those kind of information only, or with the incomplete information only, right. So it also improved my decision making. Yeah.
Truly, truly agree. So we have to just connect the dots as well and try to
Yeah.
find out something, right? And then we can present to our customers saying that, or the client saying that this is what you mean and this is what you want to build.
Correct.
So, and being a
But
technical person, oh, sorry, you're saying something. I'm sorry.
so just one thing, like I want to say one thing, like leadership is not about managing the thing, right, managing the people. Like leadership is all about taking the responsibility, helping or guiding the others, basically, like instead of managing them, basically, right. That is what I will say, right. So we have a leader who set the example so that other people can follow those examples, basically. So that is what a leader.
That's true. As a leader, we have to take a responsibility. We cannot just all the time delegate the work, right? Leader always take a responsibility as well. That's so true. Okay. So I'm just coming back about the today's topic. So it's more like an AI, but there is a
Mhm.
word called explainable AI. So can you please walk us through and help us to understand what is explainable AI and why
Okay.
it is important, especially in tech care?
In healthcare, yeah. Okay, yeah. So like Ankita, like explainable AI is it's a great topic, basically, right. I don't know like how many people are is aware of that explainable AI basically, right. I am not sure. So everybody is aware of large language model. We have a AI models, right. So we have a various algorithm, like logistic regressions is there, like random forest is there, decision tree is there, right. Linear regression is there, like we have a k-mean clustering. So we have an algorithm, right. So on the top of that algorithm, we build some kind of large language models, basically, right. So my thing is like, so I will just first explain the explainable AI, basically. So generally what happens, so whatever output generated by large language model, right, it will generate some output, but it will not going to explain those output, why that particular output has been generated. For example, if I'm for example, I ask my LLM, this person have a this parameter, this person have a I will take the example of diabetes. That person have a obesity index of this, right? He have a like blood sugar of this particular range, right? He have a like there are various other parameters like insulin and all
Correct.
these kind of things, right? So like now what will happen? I will ask LLM, I will provide those factors, and I will ask LLM, does this person suffer from diabetes? LLM will say yes, this person is suffering from diabetes, and it will give some kind of information, right. But you cannot just trust blindly those things, basically. Why the LLM come to that particular conclusion, why any model come to that particular conclusion, right? You cannot trust those models, basically. The doctor will not going to trust those only like yes and no, so what explainable AI does, so that there will be no change in the model. You can use the similar models and everything, so you can implement the XAI on the top of those model, so which will going to explain the result. That person is suffering from diabetes, what is the reason? Because he have that particular he have a blood sugar value up to this, right. And he have a obesity value this, age factor is this, and it will also give a importance. So what are the factor it considered, what are the features which is more important? That's why that particular model is coming to that particular conclusion. So it generally explain the result, which can build a trust, right, which can build a transparency, right. So even doctor can see the whatever output generated by LLM, which is matching with their view, their point of view, right. So XAI does nothing, like it just explain the result which is generated by LLM. LLM basically, it will going to explain everything, why that person has such diabetes, it will going to provide all the information what are the feature it have considered. Like we have a 10 or 15 features, right? So for example age, we have a like blood sugar, we have a obesity, so there are like a blood pressure, there are many factors, right? So out of this the LLM will say like this person have a this factors, so that's why I'm saying like he have a diabetes, and what importance is giving. Like for blood sugar I'm giving 70%, for age I'm giving 10%, for like blood pressure I'm giving 20%, like that. It will give a like what is the importance given to that any particular feature, right? This will definitely help the doctors also, right? If doctor want to use the AI and just they want to like always, I will not never say like AI can provide you all the results, like you have to use the AI for disease detection. I no. So you have to go to doctor can take the help of AI to just verify the result. So at the end, doctor is your captain and AI is just helping. It's kind of helper basically for you. You
Yeah,
got
that's a
the
good
point
lesson
of
that we
explainable
cannot,
AI, right?
yeah, of course. And this is like, and that way I was also thinking that how we can use this explanation AI in the different places as well. And but I'm just coming to the your topic. Today's main topic is improve transparency and trust, especially in healthcare, using
Hmm.
explainable AI as well. So as you beautifully mentioned that AI is helping you and helping doctor, but we definitely have to visit the doctor. And would you mind just explain even more that how it can improve the transparency? So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I will just share my screen. Just let me know once you can see my screen.
Not coming yet. Yes, I can say it.
Okay. Okay. So, like as I mentioned, right? Recently, I have done the research on like how we can use or how we can improve or how we can improve the trust and transparency, like of AI in the healthcare industry, right? Through explainable AI. So there are two models available. One is SAP and one is LIME. Like SAP is nothing like it's a safely additive prediction, and LIME is nothing local interpreted model like model explanation, right? So these are the two models which provide some kind of not some kind of which provide the explanation for the result generated by your AI models basically, or your LLM basically, right? So I've done some research, like so I'm going to just like explain what kind of research I've done. It's not complete. So the like abstract for this basically, like how we can improve, how we can enhance the trust and transparency in the healthcare artificial intelligence using the explainable AI technique, right? Then also we will focus on SAP and LIME method, which provides some kind of explanation for the output generated by the LLM basically, right? So like we will focus on transparency, trust, ethics, and the clinical usability of the artificial intelligence model. Okay, so as you know, like so it's very important whenever any result generated by LLM, right? It must be trustable, it must be transparent basically, because if you by default, like by default, the in the healthcare, right, the design is risk intolerant basically, right? So healthcare is a risk intolerant by design basically, right? We cannot take any risk in the healthcare because it may cost a person life, right? So in case of other thing, like in apart from healthcare industry, in case of manufacturing or in case of prod any other domain, right, what will happen mostly, right? We will lose money. But here it's a question of like anybody's life or anybody's, like so it has to, like in explainability is very important in the healthcare area basically, right? So to verify the result which is generated by your AI, right? So what is introduction of AI in healthcare basically? So as I mentioned, like AI can be used, it is increasing, right? It uses is increasing, right, for diagnosis, prediction, clinical support, disease these systems basically, right? So machine learning model, like it can improve the efficiency, it can improve the accuracy, it can also helpful in the early detection of the disease. But as I mentioned, right, doctor will be your always captain, and it can be used as a helper tool for, or helper platform basically, right? But still, if you see the adoption of the AI in healthcare is bit slow. It's gradual, right? And it's bit slow. What is the reason for that? One of the reason is like it's like lack of transparency and the trust. That is one of the reason. Apart from that, the data in the healthcare is spread in the silos, right? So like in healthcare, the format which used by the hospitals and like various hospitals, right, or various healthcare institution, right, it's unstructured, right, it's not following the proper formats and all those things, right. So these are the few reasons where the adoption of the AI is a bit slower in the healthcare domain. One of the thing I mentioned, the whatever output generated by AI model is still black box, right. It's a black box, right. We don't know why the particular output has been generated by LLM basically, right. So that is why so that is just a high level idea on the like adoption of AI in the healthcare, right. What explainable artificial intelligence do? So with XAI, like what happened, whatever output generated by your LLM, right, it will be explainable. So it will provide some kind of explanation, right. So like which will be more transparent, which can be easily understood by the human basically, right. So XAI it's doing nothing, it's bridging the gap between your complex machine learning model and the clinical reasoning process. So it tell the doctor why that particular person is suffering from cancer, or it's suffering from diabetes, or suffering from any other diseases, right. So those kind of explanation it provide. The one of the main advantage of XAI model, you don't have to do any changes to your existing model. Like we have an existing model or existing learnings, right. For example, logistic regression, linear regression, or we have a k-mean clustering, then we have like random forest, right. So we have a SVM, right. So there are various algorithms. So you don't have to do any changes to those algorithms, right. So whatever output generated by those algorithm, on the top of that, on that particular output, you can apply the XAI, right, explainable AI, right. So explainable AI will ensure that like whatever result generated, it is trustable, it's transparent, and it is ethical, right. No. So it is also other thing, like whenever we use the whenever we use the AI in the healthcare, right, we have to be make sure we are using it ethically. It should be compliance with the local laws, like GDPR is there, various other like laws are there, right. Depending on the geography, depending on the country, the laws may change. So whatever, if we are using AI, it has to be compliant with the local laws, like local regulations, everything, right. Okay, let me go. Any question, or should I move to next slide?
So I'm good. Let me see if the audience has any question. Probably they are interested in waiting till the end for now. Okay, so one question I can see here, if you can wait. Why do healthcare companies need Mulesoft? Someone is asking. Okay, so we will take this question at the end because this is related to the Mulesoft, but we are
Yeah.
more interested to know about this explainable AI. So,
Yeah.
again, please continue, Jitendra.
Okay, so as I mentioned, we have a two models. There are much more than, so I just learn about the two models. One is SAP and one is LIME, right? So SAP is nothing, safely additive explanation, right? So generally, like it's these models are the these are the model agnostic explainability method. So it is basically it this particular SAP model is developed on the base of game theory principle basically. So we have a game theory principles, right? So it generally developed on the top of your game theory principles basically. So SAP is the model agnostic, so doesn't matter what model, like what model you are using, like you are using k-mean, or you are using logistic regression, linear regression, SVM, random forest, this doesn't matter. It can be applied to any models or any learning basically, right. Generally what it does, like SAP it provide a global as well as the local interpretation basically, like so generally like what happens, so whenever we apply some kind of whenever we apply the SAP method on the top of output or top of the LLM basically, right. So like it will provide your global explanation, like it will also predict, like it will provide the explanation why that person, like have some kind of disease basically, like that XYZ disease basically, right. So it will provide all the explanation. It will also provide the feature importance basically, which parameters it giving more importance or to which parameter it is giving the less importance. This is one of the important point, right. So when LLM saying this person is suffering from the diabetes, and you want to know what features LLM has considered, like up to what percentage that particular features has been considered, right. That is where a SAP come into the picture. The SAP will provide a complete detail, where it will say I am giving 70% to the blood sugar, 20% to the age, 10% to the obesity, 5% to the blood pressure. So those are the kind, like it will divide into 100% basically, right? So if you have a 14 factor 14 features, right, out of like it will give the importance to each and every features basically, right? It will provide the graphical representation also. So like you don't have to see the theoretical, like it will provide the graphical representation, so you can see the graph and you can identify, like while considering like the for certain diseases, whether like that person is really suffering from that disease, these are the particular parameters has been considered, right? So this is where like it make easy for doctor to understand why the, or even for the patient, or even for the healthcare regulators basically, right, to understand why the particular model have come to this particular conclusion basically, right? So that is where SAP model is very important, right? For example, this is the kind of graph has been generated basically, right? So if you see it here, like if you see, right, so here you can see like we have a blue colors and we have a red color. So on the x-axis we have a glucose, and like on the y-axis we have a SAP value of the glucose, and here we have a BMI basically. So if you see, like if my glucose is keep increasing, right, my SAP value is also get keep increasing here basically, right? And even my BMI index is like it is also getting like bit reddish color basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, any question?
No. So yeah, I can see that even if we have a graphical representation of something, that is also helpful, so that we don't have to go to the theoretically. And what I understood from this is, like, you are just giving, you are giving all your checkpoints in order to find out some problems, some solution, and then based on those checkpoint, it will give equal intention to all this checkpoint, and in order to conclude, find the conclusion. Is it
Correct.
right understanding? Okay.
Yeah, it is right understanding, right? Yeah. So for example, here I just map the glucose and the SAP value, right? It will provide the graph for each and every parameter. So like so for example, obesity, glucose, age, blood sugar, blood pressure. So it will going to generate the graph for every parameter, and from graph you can see, like and also it will generate a feature importance graphs basically. So where it will also tell which feature is more important, which feature is less important. So all kind of graph it provided, so where like you can just visualize the graph, and you can just predict like whether whatever output generated by LLM is correct or not basically, right? So it provide much more graphs than that, right? So it have a more features available as a part of SAP model basically.
Mhm. Also, I can see one question. Are you okay to take the question? Because I think other people are very
Yeah.
interested. Yeah. All right. So I can see that someone is asking, how can hospital ensure that the AI explanation are understandable for doctor who are not AI expert?
Yeah, no, simple. As I mentioned, it providing a graphical representation, right? So definitely, like if somebody is see, for example, I will give a simple example. Even like for example, if we are going with a ECG, right? So doctor are reading those ECGs, like they have some experience there, basically, right? So some kind of, definitely some kind of session, some kind of initial training required, right? So how to read those graphs, right? So those kind of training will be definitely required. You cannot give up any tool or any platform blindly in anyone's hand, like who have never used those kind of platform. Even like doctors, if you see XYZ, if any new things are coming, doctors will keep on taking the training on that, right? If, for example, if any new operation machine has been established in the hospitals, right, so doctor will get trained on those particular operating operation machines and all this thing, right? So it's a similar kind of thing. Like if we are introducing any AI platform within the hospital or within any organization, right, it is always good to provide some kind of training on that, how to read the result, right, how to generate the results, what kind of documents we need to upload for generating those kind of results, right? So such initial trainings will be definitely needed basically, correct?
Mhm. Yes. Since world is moving, every sector also have to move towards the AI and understand how do we utilize the best out of it. I can say one more. So we have Mana here. Does the AI choose the feature of its own, or doctor have to put it manually? I'm
No, no, like
I'm
see,
pretty sure that, yeah.
okay, I will tell you. So generally, what happened, like you are using, you might be using some of the algorithm like linear regression or logistic regression or random forest, right? You train the model, right? You generate a model basically, right? On the top of model, right? So for example, I generate the model, and I provide to that model, I provide some input, like this person have this range of 100 to 120 range of blood pressure. You have a blood sugar of 220, like that all features I will just give as an input, right? Then we have a pre-trained model, we have a trained model. That trained model will generate the output, right? Then XAI will do, XAI will we use that particular model to generate all this, basically like all these reports, basically why the AI model come to that particular conclusion, basically, right? So it's not manually, right? We have to input the data manually, but we have a pre-trained model. We have pre-trained the model with a many data, basically, right? You have to ensure that whenever you are training any model, right, that model doesn't have a bias. It should not be biased in the nature, basically, right? So for example, if you are training any model in the hospital or in the healthcare, basically, right, it has to be trained with the people from the different country, like people from different countries, like it, like like it, like I will say different countries, or like or what
Like
word I will use,
geographical
like,
reason,
yeah,
because like each
geographical
the
region, right?
healthcare, yeah,
Yeah,
healthcare has its own protocol which has to
correct.
be followed, so it can be
So
trained according to the our region, isn't it?
for example, if you are training the model with a single region, for example, right, XYZ country, so the what will happen, the output will be biased to that XYZ country, basically, right? So it is always like when you want to start using this for healthcare AI in the like healthcare, basically, right, you have to train the model with the data diversity, or diversity data, right? So data have some kind of diversity. It has to be trained from multiple geography region, multiple, with multiple diseases, right, with multiple parameters, all you have to consider. So the whenever output will be generated, it will be not biased in nature, basically.
That's true, and we cannot take a risk, especially in the healthcare
Yeah.
sector, isn't it? All right. Yeah, that's really amazing, right? And you know, it's and I can understand now why you have chosen got interest to learn more about and doing PhD on such interesting topic. And even I can see the audience are also engaging. They wanted to know all about what exactly this AI will do and their use cases in the healthcare industries as well. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
amazing, Jitendra.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
planning to do my second PhD also in healthcare, basically, right? So I already starting, like
Why?
I already
I
made my
need to know
mind.
why healthcare. Is that the related to the story we have here in Jaffna?
No, 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 no. Not that, right? So like, yeah, I really like, if you see, I'm really interested like doing something in the healthcare, right? So it can create some kind of social impact also, right? So like, yeah, so I want to do something more in healthcare. Like now next time I will, like, I want to do something with the imaging, basic images, right? So when we get some kind of images like x-ray images and all these things, looking as those images, it should generate the output with explainable AI again.
Of course, we cannot leave the topic explanation AI, and then we need to understand what are the different sectors that we can utilize this
Every,
the
each and every
segment, right?
sectors, basically. It's not only
It's
for
not
healthcare,
only for
like as I
healthcare.
mentioned, right? So like you can like it can be used in any sectors also, basically. For example, in e-commerce, right, you can use in the e-commerce also, basically. Like if you want to see your why your customer retention is like reducing, right? So we where the once you put the XAI model on the top of that, right? So like see retain, like the what will happen, the AI model will tell you like, yeah, there is a customer retention is reducing, or they like, so it will tell that, it will tell some of the thing, right? But if you apply the XA on the top of that, it will provide the whole explanation, right? So what are the different factors where the customer retention is reducing, those kind of things will be provided by this explainable AI models.
Of course. And that is very interesting because we have worked in the different segment and now we understand what is explainable AI. So I also want to request to my audience as well that you can also look into how and which industry you can fit this explanation explainable AI and how you get benefit out of it. So that's something we all have to and can think about it as well. And thank you so much, first of all, Jitin, to enlighten us. This is such a powerful and knowledge sharing event. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now it's the time for our Blazer Brew rapid fire round, and I think you are aware with the rules. Okay, so
Ah,
you have to be very quick.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, what is your go-to coffee order?
I always go with a black coffee with no sugar. Generally, like simple reason. It always keep me encouraged, and like it always like keep me focused, stay focused.
Yes, yes, and we all have seen your gym status as well, so that
Yeah,
will give you the energy as well, of course. So, Mulesoft in one word.
connectivity.
Oh, true. It's connectivity.
Yeah.
What is your productivity hack? Because you are doing a lot of things.
Yeah. So I always plan everything in the morning itself, like what I have to do, like, on this particular day, right? If I don't want to do something, I will just say, I will not going to do this thing today. That is what I do, right?
To yourself? To
Yes.
yourself that you do. Oh, wow. That's nice. You're doing everything planned. So you're planning everything.
Yeah.
You're waking up and then okay. So what is the one piece of advice for our newbies, Jitendra?
Okay, the simple, like I will generally, whenever you get engaged in any session or anywhere, like, you just you should ask the questions. You should stay curious, and you should ask the questions, right? When you ask the question, it give you a lot of knowledge, basically, right? When I say you ask the question, but ask the valid questions, basically, like simple as that, right? Yeah. So like I always ask the question on that particular topic, and just try to collect the knowledge as much as you can, and don't stop learning. You just keep learning. You will see the result, basically.
Oh, that's great. Yes, we cannot stop learning. I can see that you're planning your second PhD. So of course, that's also inspiring for us that we cannot stop learning. We have a world is full of knowledge, right? And we still have a very limited time to absorb this. This is the time that you can take a questions from this comment section. Would you want to pick one, please?
Let me check. See, okay. The Can SAP used to explain the prediction in the preventive healthcare model, such as early disease. See, SAP is generally for the explanation, right? That particular model, why that particular model come to that particular conclusion. For example, like my model will be I have a model. I've trained the model, right, to early detect the disease, basically, right? So my model has early detect the disease, but SAP can explain that why that model has early detect the disease, right? So that is where the SAP and LIME is. There's a SAP and there's another model is called LIME also, which is local interpretable model agnostic explanation, basically, right? Yeah.
Oh, thank you
How
so
can
much.
student contribute to research or innovation in explainable AI? Yeah, this is a good question. So basically, as I mentioned, we have a two models, SAP and LIME, basically, right? So there are many other such explainable model is available, right? So you can just do the research on those models also, right? Apart from that, like I will give you one suggestion, or if you want to really do some kind of research, or if you want some kind of data sets also, we have a kaggle.com. So if you go to the kaggle.com, you can get a lot of real-time data set, not real-time, a real data set, basically, right? So we'll on the various domain, like in the healthcare and in any other domain, so you can use those data set, right? You can apply those any kind of algorithm you want. So there are a lot of algorithms available, right? Then you can apply any kind of explanation AI, basically. Then you can just just see, like I just took some of the diabetes use cases. There are a lot of diseases available, right? So there are a lot of things available, right? So there are a lot of things can be done in the healthcare. Just try to find, like, what is the current problems, basically, right? How you can solve those problems with AI and the explainable AI, basically.
That's nice. Yes. So that's what I said. It's a lot of things that we can explore, not even just in healthcare section, say healthcare domain. I would say that since we know the use of explainable AI, and then we need to find out where and which domain we can utilize it. And then I'm sure that we can find a lot of different use case where we can fit the explanation AI. Now I can see one more question, Jitendra, that so can you see this? What checks are there to ensure the data are unbiased?
Okay, see, first of all, there are something called data pre-processing. Whenever we are training any model, we have to pre-process the data, right? So pre-process, like cleaning of the data is very important. So sometimes what happen, your data, if your data is not proper, right, your result might be unbiased. So if you have a 10,000 of rows, out of 10,000 of rows, 2,000 rows some values are null, basically, and some values are empty. And sometimes your data may have some kind of outliers also. So for example, some data might be having some very small value, and some data might be having very large value. So that is called as the outliers, basically, right? So you have to do the outliers detection. So there are mechanism available where before training the any model, you have to just make sure you just remove all the outliers in the data, remove all the nulls, remove all the empty data, right? You have to do the same kind of pre processing of data. Then you can scale the data also, basically. You need to scale the data, basically, right? So that is where, it can reduce the unbias, but in especially in the healthcare, right? you have to collect the data from the multiple geography, multiple countries, multiple hospitals, like, so to come to train the model with the unbiased, right? So these are the things you can do, right? There are many more, but right now it's these are the things coming in my mind basically. So that is what I explain right now.
Thanks, Jitendra. And that brings us the end of this amazing episode of Blazer Brews. And it's very engaging. Thank you so much, Jitendra, as well. And we have found that today's conversation is like, enriching. We have learned a lot about the explainable AI. I'm sorry for my bad. And I also seen that your contribution towards the community, and that help us to also understand that what we have a lot of time, then how we will utilize the time wisely by keep learning and by involving us in understanding what's going on into the market. And additionally, we cannot stop learning at any time as well, right? So until then, I would like to say that keep learning, keep building, and keep brewing the coffee. See you then in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.